What are Resourcepacks? They are files containing a few lines of code and a couple of pictures. By putting these zip files in the right Minecraft folder, you can change this game to make it unusual, cute, or even scary. I used to download the Resourcepack to fix developers, bugs and change the textural blocks I didn't like, but this Resourcepack have accumulated too much and I decided to combine them into one so as not to get tangled in this pile of different files. More than a month ago I started choosing different Resourcepack, watching reviews and their features. My main goal was to create a cool Resourcepack that will change the game significantly, but still retain the quiet, cozy atmosphere in Minecraft. I thought it'd be done fairly quickly, but it took me a week. And what's the big deal about adding textures? Transfer texture from the right Minecraft files, redraft it, and add it to the right Resourcepack folder. That's it. And to manage Resourcepack, you just have to grab and drag a folder from one pack to another, but it turned out to be a lot longer and more complicated. About that later, I did make this Resourcepack thought, and let me tell you what it changes. The Minecraft logo in the main menu is now high resolution. The display of your ping changes color depending on your connection. The cross in the middle on the screen has gotten smaller. Very bright third modding window is now darker and more visual pleasing. Fixed texture of sword and tool. Fixed display of object and hand. And attention perfectionist can now play in peace without noticing a runaway pixel in the smokehouse texture. The texture for the missing double block has now also been added. 4 easy of Enchantment book have different texture depending on the time and level of enchantment. Multicolor artifacts fly around the enchanting table and bookshelf have texture variation. Be warned, the experiment bottle no flock like an explosion on whiff makes sense. Beautiful new sunflower texture, gravel variation, rocks in texture, different air, new water texture. Chickens now have different colors. Pigs in the swamp can be spoiled with mood. Depending on the biome, the texture of leaves may change. The enough change, for example, you can find pink birches in the flower forest and golden oaks in the mountain forest. With my version of better vanilla building leaves, you can make the forest more lush and also become more voluminous. Add the texture of the growth stage of bamboo, charts, other seeds. I fixed the creator summoning eggs and replaced them with models with greatly seeds upsearched in the creator. Added the texture of tropical fish caught by the water bucket now. And secret text have texture too. The lane stick knob has its own texture too. Add a different texture for the banner pattern, reduce the texture of fire, shield, different variation of charged crossbow. All of this will help in both PvP and normal gameplay. Also are with effect no look nicer. Pumpkin and watermelon growth are not different. All dice have different shapes. Burning fire models have no embers. Leather armor is cleaner, meaning it doesn't have this thing anymore. The number of portals during rain and snowfall is greatly reduced. With does not hinder the gameplay and not so much spoil the picture quality when recording. By the way, did you happen by notice that the dead bush is growing in a pot with soil and health plants too? You can leave my with Resourcepack more piece of mint because in replace the pot fill depending on the plane, volumetric levers, rails, niches, doors and snot cutter. I thought this was something that was usually lacking in Minecraft, so I added it to my Resourcepack. Added texture of village and zombies for each biome, even for Nodger, and even the village in the mushroom biome will have cute hats. Why golems is a mushroom biome, golems in the way also have different texture, depending on the biome. The texture of crimson and warped nylon have been changed. And yes, it's a hell a grove, grass skeleton, Zoglin, Piglin, and Zombie Piglin who have texture variations. I'm afraid to even to go to the Bastion, no. The brutal Piglin are too brutal. The portal on the end is getting scarred because the ice balls are moving, and with better Ender Dragon, the main boss of Minecraft turn from that into a really scary dragon. With it's even scary to go near. If you still somehow manage to deal with him, then get a dragon egg. We will pulsate. Sound of the Enderman are no quieter so as not to disturb player who kill Enderman is large number for their own personal gain. That's not all that changes the better Minecraft resource pack, but I'm getting tired of listed my additions. So I will tell you about the installation and features. Made this resource pack to be able to use many, and for this I needed optimization. So I decided to make two versions. While the first in the main menu with you will be downloading anyway, it will not load your computer so much. The amount of FPS will not decrease as much. The second version will be 3-dimensional foliage, animation for different modes, and new Ender Dragon. It's for more powerful PC. That's all for new. Yes, I spent a lot more time on the resource pack that I expected, changing almost every pack. Many of the resources conflicted, so they had to be redone. Something had to be done from scratch. I drafted some texture and even worked with Blockbench to change some of the models and their mapping. All in all, I spent a lot of time, more than 20 hours to develop it, so I'm counting on your support. Sorry it sounds so awful at the end of this video, but I'm really tired of and dubbing editing of hope for your support. See you later. Goodbye. Ugh.